This episode of Tudor I Hardly Know Her is brought to you by VinylMePlease.com. Every month, get exclusive vinyls specially made for Vinyl Me Please with exclusive artwork, lyric books, and even cocktail recipes delivered right to your door. To sign up, go to joinvmp.com/Tudor. That's joinvmp.com/Tudor.
Do you want to know what Halloween means?
Scary Tudor.
Let's get spoopy. It's going to be good. I'm so excited for the Tudor Ghost episode.
Oh my god, that's going to be a good one.
It's going to be awesome. We need to have freaky music in the background and sit in the dark doing it, even though our listeners can't see. We'll just tell them to close their eyes.
Yeah, just a theater of the mind. That's... Yeah.
That sounds like some Sherlock shit. The Mind Theater.
It's my mind's palace. That's not what Benedict Cumberbatch sounds like.
No,
Hello
that's
and welcome to another episode of Tudor I Hardly Know Her.
We got there eventually. It's okay.
Our special guest today is Benedict Cumberbatch. Thank you for being here, Benny and the Jets.
It's no problem at all. I am a huge fan of the show as much as I am a fan of penguins.
You don't really need to know anything about Benedict Cumberbatch except that he can't say penguins.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that video, go look it up. Look up Benedict Cumberbatch or however the hell you can spell his name or whatever permutations of his
Don't
name
worry,
you
Google
wanna
will
do.
figure it
It'll
out
come
for
up.
you.
Crumplehorned Bumby Datch.
It's even worse is that he actually voiced in Penguins of Madagascar.
Why do you, when did he do that?
He was in the movie.
Irony.
You know, the weird one we kept seeing on the random fun celebrity name things they did.
Okay, wait. We need to interrupt for a minute because everybody needs to go and watch the Penguins of Madagascar because they have some of the best celebrity pun jokes I've ever seen.
Nicholas cages them up.
Kevin, bake on. We need that cake.
That's pretty good.
Elijah, would you please pass me the tea?
Like
It goes on.
is
It's like tons of. It's like, and it's just a movie too.
You know that there was one writer who had just been doing that for decades, just making celebrity puns, and finally he got his opportunity.
So
with
the most
Penguins.
shocking thing to me is you're telling me that Penguins of Madagascar is worth watching?
Only for those. I don't even know anything about the actual story, but Jeff and I were crying.
We were just
from
like in
the
bed,
pun
flipping
names.
channels. And it was on TV, and we just got really obsessed with it for
It
some
was-
reason.
So funny.
Anyway, back to actual Tudors.
Anyway.
The Tudors of Madagascar.
Henry likes to move it.
Which one's Chris Rock?
Oh my god.
Don't
He's,
even try and
He's
do it.
Wolsey.
Oh my god. King Henry is King Julian. He's just so dumb and naive, and all his subjects are just like, yes, whatever you say.
Oh my god, guys.
I don't know what you're saying.
Why
I
are
don't even know what a King Julian is.
That's okay, Garrett.
Is that the character from Madagascar?
Yeah, it was the lemur.
Okay.
Why do you remember?
I saw that movie in theaters, the first one.
Did you just see it once?
No, I saw it multiple times. Like
In theaters?
Other people went to see Star Wars over and over again. Jeff was dressed as King Julian.
you're all jealous. Sad. This guy keeps coming into this movie dressed as a lemur.
So I have a friend who keeps sending me Snapchats of how many times he's seen It, which is like
the
4
new
or
one?
5 times. And I was like, well, going to see It again. And I imagine that's Jeff with Madagascar.
It is. It really is. It's
Well,
really
fifth
hard.
time in, let's go.
It's really hard to get him to calm down and stop
It
being
was
a
that
lemur.
and Osmosis Jones.
Okay, Osmosis Jones is great.
Okay, except that scene with the pimple makes me want to vomit.
Pretty much any of the scenes with Bill Murray is just like just so beyond.
Our
gross,
listeners are
but,
so
like,
confused. Like, I thought I was listening to a history podcast, and I was
You
hearing a
are.
bunch of stuff about obscure movie day.
Look, Osmosis Jones happened like 10 years ago. That's history. It is a history podcast. Stop
Also,
being bitches.
Osmosis Jones was a documentary, so I don't know what you're talking about. Ever since I saw that movie, I always think of that's what's happening inside my body.
There's just a little guy, a little germy dude in a.
He's a white blood cell.
I'm sorry. There's a white blood cell in a Letterman jacket hanging out in your insides.
Yeah, and Kid Rock's there, and he's playing a concert somewhere.
Is that why you're so like freakishly scrawny? Is because Kid Rock is just eating up everything inside of you?
Oh yeah.
Chris Rock does that a lot to a lot of people.
Anyways, do you guys actually want to talk to?
I have no idea what we're even talking about
Yeah,
today.
me
Neither
I
of you
hope
guys
it's
do.
about-
I know. I presented some options, and then I decided I had better options,
So you gave us the illusion of choice.
and then I took it away.
Just like the
Snatch
video
it
game
away.
Until Dawn.
Well done, sir.
Speaking of Until Dawn, yes, I gave you the illusion of choice, and then I decided that I am the King Henry VIII of this podcast, and I choose what we do. So, today, we are going to talk about the original Tudors, Jasper and Edmund.
Isn't those guys from 101 Dalmatians?
No, they're the guys from... No, Jasper and Edmund are the guys from the Muppets, and they just rag all over Fozzie Bear.
Who's Henry VIII?
I don't know who would be. Let's see, the Muppets as Henry VIII. I almost want Fozzie to be Henry.
Making all sorts of
No,
bad puns
I think
before
it'd
he
be
beheads his
Gonzo because
wives.
he goes crazy.
And fucks chickens. Okay, Gonzo is Henry VIII.
I do like the image of Kermit wearing the Henry VIII outfit.
Okay.
And Miss Piggy is Catherine of Aragon.
She's totally Catherine of Aragon.
Mhm.
And then who's the new babe who was in the TV show that
I
only
can't
lasted
remember her name.
the
but-
cute
But
one.
people said she looked like
And-
Natalie Dormer.
Poor Natalie Dormer. I think she's beautiful.
So was that pig.
I am in love with Natalie Dormer.
I'm with you, Emily. To play Anne Boleyn, probably Janice.
I have hepatitis C.
Well, man.
Wait, which one's animal? Who's animal?
Oh my god.
I'm trying to think of who's animal. It's got to be a good one.
I'm just visualizing Woolsey is Sam the Eagle.
Yeah.
Yes.
You cannot divorce your wife. That is un-Catholic.
All right. Well, everything else is out the window as long as Sam the Eagle is Woolsey. Oh, okay. The original Tudors, Jasper and Edmund. I mean, obviously they're not the original Tudors because they had to come from someone. But they're the only ones that people really should care about for the moment. I'll get into the other ones later. Are you guys ready?
Yes. Let's do it. Let's talk Tudor.
Okay, so there are two brothers. Once upon a time in the 1400s, there was older brother Edmund and little brother Jasper. And
Okay.
Wait, his name wasn't Tom or Henry or...
no, and I'll tell you why. It's because their father was Welsh and their mother
Those
was French.
Damn Welsh.
Okay, I'm going to introduce a fun section in this episode called Let's Speak Welsh. Because it's just consonants and zero vowels. So this is my information for Edmund Tudor. He's the first Earl of Richmond. That is English. Also known as Edmund of Hudham.
Whoa, what now?
I really hope that every British listener is listening to me butcher this and just in stitches from
Their
laughing.
ears are bleeding right now.
I mean, I don't want that. I still want them to listen to the episode.
Or they're
but,
mad at you because you're belittling the language.
I don't think that. I'm not belittling it. It's just like, guys, anybody who has seen Welsh knows there's no no vowels. And I will.
Okay. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I'm going to look it up. You can continue, Emily.
Okay, but then you're
pull
gonna
up
miss.
Babelfish.
You're gonna miss Edmund of Hadham. I think there's Hadham, Hadham, and also Edmund of Pennymindid, North Wales.
What?
Pennymindid. There are 2 D's.
Garrett's not sure what's you trying to pronounce a word or Skype is glitching on him.
Or you having a stroke.
Pennymindid. Okay, so then there was also Jasper, and he was also of Pennymindid of North Wales, and they were half brothers of King Henry VI of England. Relevant. So Henry VI was the son of another Henry, of course, and Catherine of Valois of France. And then Henry V died, and so his wife was like, there's this guy named Owen, and I got the hots for him, so I'm going to marry him. And he was a complete rando. The marriage was totally secret. And actually, there was a law that said dowager queens are not allowed to remarry without permission. She said, fuck that, married Owen Tudor, and had kids with him. So, fun fact, I learned this from a book, and I am 99% sure that I am reciting it correctly. Owen Tudor is actually, and I'm pretty sure I got this from a Dan Jones book. Check out Dan Jones. He's History Bay. Owen Tudor is actually Owen ap Tudor, because it's Welsh. And Owen ap Tudor means Owen of Tudor, son of Tudor. So actually Tudor is a first name. So it's almost like saying, what's like Lord of the Rings where they do it like
they keep going like son of so and so.
Yeah, so it's almost like that. So like Gandalf, son of.
Gandalf has no father. He's a wizard.
He just came into being. But insert relevant Lord of the Rings thing right there. So fun. That's your not fun Henry VIII fact, but fun Tudor fact for today. It was actually Owen ap Tudor.
I was just thinking during this, I never really knew where Tudor came from, like the actual name came from.
It's totally random. Like there should never have been Tudor.
Because everyone's always associated as Henry as like the
Nope.
And Henry VIII is the start of the Tudors.
Owen Tudor was just a rando. I think he had some sort of small wealthy lineage. This is not the Owen Tudor episode, guys, okay? I don't need to do that much research on him. But
you're unimportant besides you gave a name.
No, he's I'll do an Owen Tudor episode later eventually, maybe if he's worth it. But this is not his episode. This is not his time. So if I'm correct, he was just like a random, not that important kind of nobility. But he was from Wales. And in that time, if you weren't from England, they didn't really give a shit. So either way, the essential point of it is Edmund and Jasper were half brothers of the king. That is the important part.
Okay. So,
Catherine of Valois and Owen were secretly married, and they were married for about 6 years, and then she died. IDK what she died of. Nobody really cared about queens back then. So,
dancing.
She died from dancing. She was the dancing queen. And
young and sweet.
What did you say?
I said young and sweet.
She was only 17.
Thank you.
So, after she died, people didn't like Owen, and he was arrested and imprisoned. He escaped, but then he was imprisoned again, and it was just a big thing.
What are the charges? We don't like you.
Pretty much. He was attainted for treason.
They probably found some weird reason.
There was
arrest
some
him.
weird reason, and
we made up a law just to do this.
It was most likely because he had married a dowager queen without permission of the king. That was semi to completely treasonous. So she'd had the boys. She actually had, I learned this during the research. So Edmund was her eldest, and then she had Jasper, and then there was definitely one other named Owen, a son named Owen. And he was younger than Jasper, but then there was potentially a sister named, I think her name was Catherine. And they were taken in by Catherine de la Pole. I tried to find out information about the de la Pole family, but they were really confusing, and this is not the de la Pole episode. Stop asking. So, Catherine de la Pole took in the boys, brought them up in a religious household, blah, blah, blah. She convinced Henry VI, like, hey, these are your half-siblings. You should probably take a look at them. So Henry VI started paying attention to them, and in fact, he actually really liked them. He ennobled Edmund as the Earl of Richmond in 1449. Oh, I didn't say when they were born. Sorry, early 1400s. I didn't write that down. You guys don't really care. You're never going to remember. They were about 20 when they were ennobled. So Edmund was created Earl of Richmond in 1449, and 2 years later, Jasper was created the Earl of Pembroke. So they were kind of seen, because they were half siblings of the king, they were kind of seen as like the the coolest in the court, except for like the dukes. Everybody loved the dukes, but Jasper and Edmund were the ones everyone wanted to chill with. So they were like the cool kids on the block. They were the Rat Pack of the 1400s.
But they weren't as cool though as the king.
Yeah, so like if the king was Frank Sinatra, I don't know the Rat Pack well enough. I know the
Dean Martin.
I know the
Sammy
Brat.
Davis Jr.
No. Brat Pack, Jeff.
Oh man.
So
We're going that route.
if if the king was Emilio Estevez, the dukes were Judd Apatow and Molly Ringwald, and Jasper and Edmund were the other character.
Judd Apatow, Judd Nelson.
Anthony Michael.
Did I say Judd Apatow?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
Judd
what
Nelson
the hell kind of
was
connection
Bender.
she's trying to make here?
I am really good at this game, guys.
Anthony Michael Hall was the nerdy kid.
Yes, they are Anthony Michael Hall and the one who put pixie sticks on bread.
Right.
Why don't we say they're more like Entourage?
One's Turtle. The other one is. What was it?
Adrian Garnier.
Oh my God!
I'm
what was
like
the
mixing
name
up the actors versus the
I
characters.
used to know their names. I just can't remember it because like Drama. That was the name of one of them.
Okay, but nobody else is. You can't do that because only Henry VIII would be Drama. Let's be serious.
Oh my God.
Okay, so they were the Brat Pack. They were part of that core group, and that one director kept hiring them. Oh my God. Let's record more episodes at 11:30 at night so I can remember everything.
What are you asking about?
Who's the director who recorded all of those fucking movies from the 80s?
Oh, John Hughes.
Oh,
There you
yeah,
go.
John Hughes.
There you go. Thank you. Okay, back to Tudors. So Henry VI had an issue where he was insane, and after 6 years of being married to his wife, whom nobody liked, they still didn't have a baby. It was possible because Henry VI just wouldn't have sex. He was too religious for it. And actually, the Tudors were potentially considered as heirs to the throne, even though they had zero English blood in them. Their mother was French. Their father was Welsh. There was no reason they should have, but they were kind of liked. So they ended up being advisors to King Henry VI. They were very loyal to him, of course, because it's their half brother. And because of their Welsh heritage, they were put in charge of making sure Wales didn't go nutso. So
I still can't take the whales thing seriously because every time I hear it, I just think of the giant sea animal.
Seriously?
I just hear you talking about whales and all I think
They were put in charge of the sea. Edmund demanded to be called Neptune. It was weird.
I control the whales. It's like Star Trek when they try to go back in time and find the whale noises.
It is. That is exactly what it is. So they were put in charge of Wales, and so because of their Welsh heritage, there were legal restrictions placed on what they could and could not do, like inherit and marry and all that shit. And because Henry VI was like, I like you, and also I'm a little bit insane, I'm gonna lift those restrictions. And he also created them legitimate half siblings. So because their parents' marriage was kind of in question, because A, it was secret, B, he was a Welsh nobody and she was a queen and he didn't get permission. The marriage was, all up in the air. But Henry VI was like, nah, it's cool. You're legitimate. I like you. You are legitimate half siblings of the king. They were so well favored that they were given wardship of Margaret Beaufort. She was an incredibly wealthy heiress. And if you two recognize her name, it is because she is the mother of Henry VII, who stabbed Richard III. And she was incredibly wealthy. Everybody wanted her to marry their sons or, themselves, because they were disgusting back then. And Jasper and Edmund were given her wardship. And, of course, Edmund married her because, sure, he was about 30. She was 13. So he did
enough.
a really good job of knocking her up. And then the Wars of the Roses happened. So because the Tudor brothers owed everything to their dearly beloved / insane half brother, they did what he said. So when Henry VI became catatonic, he had an episode where he just kind of zoned out for like a year. He did this a couple of times. So for about 6 months, he had no clue what was going on. He didn't talk. He didn't do anything. And Richard, Duke of York, decided, well, the king's crazy and somebody needs to rule the kingdom. And Margaret of Anjou is A, French, B, I don't frickin' like her because she's a woman. He was like, I want to be put in charge. So the Tudor brothers were like, all right, that's cool. I'd rather have York in charge than Margaret. So the Duke of York was officially named the protector of the realm during that time. And they attended his advisory meetings just to, give the legitimacy to it and make sure the kingdom was being run smoothly. But then York was like, I think I'd be a better king. So then the Wars of the Roses started. Thank you, Henry VI. So there was a lot of tussle back then, and I know we covered this before in the Wars of the Roses episode, but basically power came and went between the Lancastrians and the Yorks. Henry VI was a Lancastrian. Richard, Duke of York, was, in case you couldn't tell, a York. And they kind of kicked each other on and off the throne and took each other hostage and took each other prisoner.
Talking about that.
Yeah, so the Tudor brothers' wealth came and went with that. So at one point when York came into some power, so grants were given to the royal siblings. So grants were canceled for some of the nobility, but for some reason not the Tudor brothers. I'm not sure why. Oh, yes, I do. It's because they were loyal to him as an advisor. But Henry VI sent Edmund to Wales when a rebellion started to kick off Henry VI because he's fucking insane.
Yeah.
I can't get over that, guys. He's fucking insane. So while he was there, York deposed Henry VI while Edmund was in Wales, and then he sent... York was deposed by Henry VI. It's mayhem. It's just fucking crazy. The important thing is York sent 2,000 men to take South Wales, and Edmund was captured. And that motherfucker died of the Black Plague. Like boobos on the armpit, dead.
As you're wont to do in the era.
As you were wont to do, 1400s. You're either dying from dancing too much or the Black Plague.
Yeah, pretty common.
They had all of the death certificates worked up with one or the other. They only had 2 piles.
You just checked off either one or the other.
If you were a man, if you were a woman, it was just childbirth.
Or sometimes it was both.
I'd like to think that they just, combine them both together. You got the black leg from dancing too much.
My favorite was when they combined the women's death certificates with the Black Plague, and you ended up with bubonic childbirth.
I just birthed the plague.
That sounds like a real metal band.
Jeff birthing the plague. That
Plague
happened in Game of Thrones, didn't it?
Yeah, that's
The queef monster.
Yeah, the giant monster that killed Remley.
So because it was the 1400s and nobody had anything better to do besides die.
So what do you do for fun? Die.
Well,
Maybe
no.
live. I don't know.
No, if you're alive, if you're not dying, then you're accusing anybody who died of having died under suspicious circumstances. So everybody thought that he was murdered.
Very suspicious. I don't know. The giant welts on his arms kind of gave it away.
Of course. Several people were actually accused, but of course no guilt was ever actually assigned. Hey, Garrett, you know how I like books?
Yeah, you never shut up about them.
That's true. They're amazing. And you know what always frustrated me was that I was wasting valuable book reading time in a stupid 30-minute commute to and from work. That's an hour of booklessness that I could have remedied.
Don't be bookless, Emily.
Yeah, you want to know what I did? I got Audible. Audible is an amazing, amazing thing. I tried it out a couple years ago, and I have been hooked ever since. Once a month, I get a brand new audiobook. Occasionally, I get more if I decide I need more. But it's just such a great way to fit in an extra book in my life.
So what kind of books do you listen to, Emily?
I kind of listen to everything. I listen to history, biographies. I really like listening to crime novels on audiobooks, but they have everything. You can find almost any book on Audible. One of my favorites was I just finished Catherine of Aragon, The True Queen by Alison Weir. She's got her whole series coming out on audiobooks, and you can find it on Audible, guys. And you want to know what's even cooler?
What's cooler than that?
We can offer our listeners a free 30-day trial and get them hooked. They have over 180,000 titles to choose from, and you can listen to it on your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or any sort of MP3 player, including your Zune. I know you still have that.
I was going to make a joke about the Zune, and then I was like, she's not going to mention the Zune. And then you mentioned the Zune.
Do I know you or what?
Too well.
If our listeners want to get a free 30-day trial of Audible, they can just go to audibletrial.com/tutor. Again, that's audibletrial.com/tutor, and you get a free 30-day trial and an audiobook. So check that out.
And yeah, like you think, audiobook, I can blow through this pretty quick. Audiobooks are super long. Like that's so much content that you're getting for that free trial.
It's wonderful. I'm obsessed with it.
It really is.
So if you love reading and you want to find a way to fit another book into your life, go to audible.com. Get a free trial, 180,000 titles, and you'll be happy.
Hey, Emily.
Hey, Garrett.
You know what I need?
What do you need?
I need some cool, nerdy swag for my desk. Like, my desk is completely barren. There's nothing cool here. Like, I need something good.
I have an idea. You should check out Loot Crate.
Loot Crate? What's that?
You get a big box of awesome, nerdy swag every month. It's a subscription-based service, and you can get a box of really awesome, nerdy things that will surprise you every month. It's a different theme, and you get exclusive loot, so things you won't find anywhere else.
I bet they're not going to have anything I like.
What do you like, Garrett?
Well, I'm into really niche, nerdy things like Marvel, DC... Star Trek, Star Wars,
surprisingly,
things that nobody really know about.
They have all of it. They've got Deadpool, Alien, Star Trek, Harry Potter, whatever your little nerdy heart desires, they have.
Okay, but how do I sign up for this little loot crate?
Well, all you have to do is go to trylootcrate.com/Tudor, and you can even get exclusive savings by entering the promo code BRIDGE10 to save 10%.
I think I'll have to try and sign up for this loot crate.
I think that's a really great idea, Garrett.
Okay, one more time. What was that address?
Trylootcrate.com/Tudor and enter the promo code BRIDGE10.
Well, all right. I think I'll go do that right now.
Please do.
Loot crate. Get it. Loot it. Love it. Buy it.
Hey, you guys, you ready to speak Welsh again? Let's speak Welsh.
I don't know if I can.
Nope,
Can
we're
they
going to do
speak
it. Nope, this is fun. So I found that the Tudor brothers were descended from Edmund Fiken, who was Llewellyn the Great's chancellor.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Edmund Franklin.
Just stop pronouncing certain
No,
parts
no,
of the
no.
word and you got it.
Yeah, it's like, no, just take out vowels, guys. I
like-
cannot
It's like
stress
me learning
this
French
enough.
all over again. It's like, so you stop talking halfway through it
No,
and you
no,
got
this
the word
one,
pronounced.
you just take out the vowels. So it's
Edmund Franklin.
Ednifid. I think it's Ednifid. EDNYFED. Ednifid. Fiken.
Are you speaking Welsh or reading from the Necronomicon? Like, what the hell's going on here?
God damn it, you figured it
So
out.
Garrett's Welsh name is just like Gert.
Gert Kusser.
That sounds more Swedish than anything.
Gert. Oh, shit.
God, we're
guys.
back to Muppets
The
again.
Swedish chef is actually Owen Tudor.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
We've come full circle, y'all.
Okay, so I already talked about their brothers. So Jasper Tudor, let's focus on him a little bit. He had a motherfucking ego. Do you want to know what he called himself? The High and Mighty Prince Jasper, brother and uncle of kings, Duke of Bedford and Earl of Pembroke.
He could have done better.
Or in Welsh.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's take out the vowels. No, I got it.
Stick some marbles in
Higmity Prince Spur Bruther.
If anybody out there actually speaks Welsh or knows how badly we're mangling this, please let us know how we're fucking up.
No,
And record your like just disdain or your laughter at us stupid American people. We're sorry. We're trying our best here.
Jeff
This
and I are
is-
sorry. Emily, not sorry.
Just laughing at you.
Not in the
This
slightest.
is my
No
favorite
remorse.
fucking game. Okay, so Jasper was like, apparently he had some super middle child syndrome. Not, you could tell
Even
that-
Narcissus was like, dude, calm down.
Well, no, you could tell that he was a middle child because he called himself, Jasper, the High and Mighty Prince, blah, 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 blah. But also, he just wanted the family drama to stop. So while the Wars of the Roses was happening, he goes like, couldn't you guys just get along? Like, he's like me and my family, who is just like, you guys, you just need to see it from each other's perspective. Just be a little nicer. And, there's some give and take. So
Hey, man, if we all stop fighting and start loving each other, we can get a lot more done.
and then he's like, do you guys want some of my blunt?
You want to smoke this?
When people talk about the 60s, they really mean the 1460s. Jasper Tudor started the hippie movement, guys. That's your fun fact.
That's your Tudor fact of the week.
So after Edmund died, he had left his 13-year-old wife pregnant. In case you guys
Whoa.
didn't remember that, his
Right.
wife was 13 years old. And Jasper was like, I got this. So he took in his nephew and his sister-in-law, and he's like, I'm going to make sure they're cool. Ultimately, he ended up with just his nephew, and that was his name was Henry. Shocking.
Speechless.
I don't know where they got that name.
It's shocking. So
What happened to the girl?
Margaret?
Yeah.
Garrett, if you were
Besides
if
a
you
13-year-old child trying to give birth to another child.
well, her vag was racked. She could not bear more children ever. She almost died because she was 13 years fucking old.
Okay.
She was kind of transferred all around on the whims of the various kings who came into power.
Gotcha.
If you want to learn more, go listen to our Margaret Beaufort episode, guys. So Jasper's fortunes once again rose and fell with Henry VIII, or Henry VI. And when Henry VI was finally deposed, he kind of went to France. He returned to Wales, but then he was defeated, and up and down and up and down and up and down. And he, things were great, things sucked, things were great, things sucked. So ultimately, Edward IV ended up in control. Not ultimately, that's not the end of the saga, but Henry IV ended up in control. So Jasper went to the continent just to get some support and safety. Oh, I thought this was funny. While I was doing research, Wikipedia had completely skipped over the reign of Richard III. And I wrote, probably because he sucked. I really don't like Richard III. So, then when Henry VII was about 17 years old, 18, he was youngin'. He had enough support and the help of his uncle to get an army, go to England, stabby stab stab Richard III, and become king, and everything was great, and Jasper had a really cool life. But he ended up marrying Catherine Woodville, who was a sister of... she was a sister-in-law of Henry IV. You guys, there are too many Henrys and Edwards and shit.
What?
You don't say. And you're the one that knows all this.
He married Catherine Woodville, who was the sister-in-law of Edward IV. He did not have legitimate children. However, he did have 2 illegitimate children. Time for Let's Speak Welsh. The mother of... This is my favorite one.
Herner.
Herminy.
Oh, so close. I was just thinking Henry in Welsh.
No, the 2 illegitimate children were by... Myfenwy Verk Dafydd.
I think it's more guttural than how we're doing it.
Can you tell me what Myfenwy is gutturally?
Myfenwy.
It's like weird French.
I like the idea that we're mixing French and Swedish, and that's Welsh. So
once again, if any of our listeners have made it this far,
I think Welsh and Icelandic are the 2 languages that I would go insane trying to learn. Like, I would just end up locked in a room with like random letters scribbled on the walls.
You think that, but I don't think it'd be that bad.
Okay, Garrett, enjoy those Welsh lessons and come back to us in, let's say, 6 months. You could get a basic, like, where's the library? I have to go to the bathroom kind of lesson down in that time. I have an idea. Hold on. I love Google. How to say... What do we want?
Can I change my Siri to speak Welsh?
I fuck... No, I'm not changing Siri. I'm going to ask... what phrase do we want to hear in Welsh? How about I love you? How to say I love you in Welsh. Oh my God.
How do you say I love you in Welsh?
Hold on. I got it.
I found this on the web for how do you say I love you in Welsh.
I got it. Pause yours, Jeff. Rindi Garudi.
I did not hear that.
Rindi Garudi.
Oh, you just summoned a demon.
Oh, fuck. Google's trying to trick me into summoning demons.
Hey, if it starts getting to say Latin, I
draw the line at the fucking Latin.
Yes.
I always feel bad for the people who probably spoke Latin back in the day. Like, they're just trying to find their way down the street, and like a demon just keeps spawning everywhere.
They're just trying to find out how to get to the local supermarket because they're new in town, and they're just like, fuck, I can't. You know, I've got a funky accent. I was born with a lisp, and I can't get that word right. And so whenever I try and say supermarket, it comes out as super demon. It's awkward. Satan trails me everywhere. Thanks for the laughs, guys. I'm pretending our audience is laughing right now.
I can add laugh tracks to us.
Yes, please. Make me feel funny.
But it's going to be like the Scooby-Doo ones where they just make no sense. And they all sound exactly the same.
Exactly. So. Okay, so that's it for the Tudors, except those two siblings who existed at one point. Obviously not anymore. So Owen, according to Henry VII's personal historian, the younger brother Owen that I mentioned, he was raised by the monks under the name Edward Bridgewater, and they had a sister who had supposedly become a nun. But not much is known about her because everything was sexist back then, and they didn't give a shit about women unless they could produce babies. And if they couldn't, fuck. If they couldn't, off with their heads. So that's it for the original Tudors.
The OGs?
The OGs. That's it. Did you guys like our fun section of Let's Speak Welsh?
It was wonderful and informative, and I hope I never have to deal with that again.
Next episode is going to be completely in Welsh.
Presented by Garrett.
It'll be good times. So that's it, guys. Any
All right.
questions? Any questions?
When were they born?
Fuck you. Hold on. No, now I gotta look it up.
Haha.
Jeffrey.
I just made the podcast a little longer.
Thank you. Edmund Tudor.
This is all filler now, people.
Oh, the Muppet talk at the beginning wasn't?
No.
That was
perfect.
really
He
important.
was born in Edmund was born in 1430 and he died in 1450. What the fuck?
Wait, what?
What?
He was born in 1430 and died in 1456.
He was only 26 years
He
old.
was only 26 fucking years old.
See, that's usually what I'm most
Damn.
curious about. I always try to
That
figure out
Black
the average.
Plague.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, the plague's going to do it to you.
And then Jasper Tudor was born in 1431 and he died in 1495. So he lived a little bit longer,
Oh,
60
man, yeah,
years.
Yeah, he
yeah.
lived quite some time.
Poor
He hit
Edmund.
the jackpot.
You know, the age gap between Edmund and his wife is not too bad, except when you remember she was 13 fucking years old. Don't forget.
Yeah.
Never forget. So, Jeff, any other questions for me?
I'll think of
Do you want
something.
me to tell you what the bubonic plague is like, or the last time it was?
Why was it called the Black Plague?
Because you got these things, they were like pus-filled buckets, and they called them bubos, and you got them in your groin and your armpits, and they would get black.
Huh.
Oh, no. Groin?
Yeah. Groin, under your knee, in your armpits, along your neck. Yep.
It was fun days.
Ugh.
Do you guys want to hear something really interesting?
Go for it.
Bubonic plague was found in the United States. There were some occurrences of it at Yellowstone Park recently.
Because what caused it?
It's the same infection. It's just about how the infection gets around.
Gotta stop licking those rats.
But what else am I supposed to do to get high? Oh wait, those are toads.
Yeah. Does anyone know like how it originated or like what is
Fucking rats.
Just rats and poor.
just
Yeah.
poor hygiene?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Okay, so this is really what happened. So, oh man. Okay, so the bubonic plague got around for a couple of reasons. First of all, Attila the Hun. No, not Attila the Hun. Was it Attila? Who was like the big bad?
Genghis Khan?
Genghis Khan. Thank you.
Yeah, that dude.
So Genghis Khan was kind of taking over that whole area, you know, all of the East. And in his efforts to do that, instead of just going into a city and hacking everyone to bits, he would take one infected person of the bubonic plague, chop them up, and throw them over the walls of cities and let the citizens all die that way. Well, then ships would carry traded goods from those areas. Genghis Khan had a really good idea for going to port cities because they were really valuable. And the rats on the ships would be on them. So the rats would be carrying the plague from the east all the way around. So it went to like the Middle East and then Spain, because Spain was like, I want everything. And it ultimately worked its way through Europe. But it was always on, it was usually carried through very specific fleas on very specific rats. But people actually were freaked out in that time period about it. And they thought that not bathing would help them, but obviously didn't. So baths were actually a lot more common before the bubonic plague. People just thought that bathing in itself extended the plague's ability to kill. So they stopped bathing as much.
What was the...
Wah, wah.
You don't by chance off the top of your head know what the estimated death toll was from that, do you?
A third of the world's population.
Was that what it was? I knew it was like
Yeah,
a
hold on.
ridiculous amount.
By the way, there were 15 cases of the bubonic plague in 2015. And let me look up quickly. Bubonic plague death toll. So there were a ton of the bubonic plague was not just a year of shittiness. It was oh my God, guys, I was so wrong. 60% of Europe's population.
Oh my God.
Between the years 1346 and 1353.
So yeah.
So
about
it killed
7
50.
years.
It killed 50 million people. It did. Yeah, it was estimated to have killed 30, like between 30 and 60%. So I think we could kind of call it even and say it killed about 45%. But it's really interesting to see the way it spread, because there's like a random ass area that for some reason didn't get affected. Like Milan was fine. I think this map is showing that Constantinople was safe. But it's thought to have originated in Asia, but then it spread through the Silk Road, which was really bad news.
Mm-hmm.
So
I would look up more info about the bubonic plague, but I don't want to see any pictures.
I mean, you could look up something specific. Like I just looked up bubonic plague death toll, and I don't have any pictures.
Okay.
I just have data, but it's on my phone. So if you do it on a computer,
I'll
it might
send
be
you some
different.
later tonight.
No,
Garrett, we're
I need
gonna-
to sleep soon.
when you're
You're
here
gonna
this
wake up
weekend,
and
we're
there's just
gonna
be a bunch of
we're gonna put pictures of bubonic plague on the ceiling of the bedroom you're gonna be in.
Oh no, no! I'll have to sleep with you guys.
Haha, Jeff, our trick has worked.
haha.
Glad we got into a discussion about the bubonic plague.
It was kind of relevant to the time.
It is. I have a weird fascination with it. Not like. It's only because it's
such
so
a-
catastrophic.
It's such a major part of
Yeah.
that history.
So anyway, anything else?
I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm good.
And I'm
good.
Jeffrey.
Emily,
Garrett,
how
Jeffrey.
can people find us?
you can find us on Facebook at Tudor I Hardly Know Her. You can also find us on our Twitter page at Simply Tudor Know Her. Let's chat and talk about book recommendations. Thank you to everybody who sent me the awesome book recommendations over the last week. I am so excited to add those to my list. I'm going to create some sort of awesome. I really want a page where people can actually contribute more book lists. Maybe I'll just pin a discussion on the top of our Facebook page, because everybody has awesome ideas. And don't forget to rate and review us on iTunes. Please, 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 please.
Greatly appreciated.
S'il vous plaît.
That's like my favorite thing to do. Like I like to go on iTunes like I'd say every other day, and I'd say, let's see if we got any more reviews, because those are just so cool.
I
And people just are
go-
like, oh man, love your show.
I check
Or
it
give
out,
us,
like, once a-
criticisms that help us. and
Yeah, I check it out like
it's
once
good
a week.
stuff.
I really like it. So
Uh-huh.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
All right. So until next time.
Divorce.
And next time, I'll be live in the studio with you guys. It'll be exciting.
Hooray! I'm so excited. It's going to be awesome.
Woo!
Everyone's going to love it. So until next time,
Sorry, napkin holder. Divorce, beheaded, died.
divorce,
Divorce,
beheaded,
beheaded,
survived.
survived.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. It's still not in sync. We'll get it right.